Hey everybody, this is Matt here at the Home for Wayward Records. Just wanted to drop by and say hello on a Monday afternoon and see how everybody was doing. Change sides in the record room. If you follow me on Instagram, which I know some of you do, I put pictures up all weekend of the great re-alphabetize, shift, shelf, builds, blah, blah, blah. It's crazy. Went to IKEA, picked up a new 4x4 and then a 2x2 and had to resort and reshuffle and move everything. If I don't know how many records you guys have, you have a lot. This could be a pretty arduous process, and with some 4,000 records here, it took me the better part of a day and a half to get all of this done, get everything that was on the floor put in the collection, get everything re-alphabetized and reorganized, start at the very beginning over here, and shift everything over to where things had a little bit of room to breathe. So it was a lot, but it's done. And it's pretty cool, and everything is shelved and reorganized. I found a record right back there that had been missing since, I think, last September. Gun Club record that I had apparently turned around backwards and stuck in the middle of the Guided by Voices records and had not been able to find, and I swore it was gone. I'd even figured out who I thought I had given that record to, even though they didn't have it. And yeah, so things happen. So the great reorganize and reshift happened. No, I did not pull a high fidelity. I did not do a Rob. These are not autobiographically organized. They are all alphabetized and then chronological within artists, going from first record to the newest record. And then soundtracks and jazz and swing and country and blues are over here, and they are in a different section. And everything else is rock and roll, all kind of mixed together. So yeah, so that happened, and it was pretty cool. It's good to get it done. I'll talk about that some more later in the week. Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so what came in last week that was new for me? I got 5 new things in last week. The first one I'm going to start out with is actually out a little bit before then, and I had just not picked it up yet, but I was planning on it. And that is the newest Liam Gallagher, Come On You Know. I like Liam. He's a giant dick and funny. This record, there's a lot of different people on here. Dave Grohl's on drums on one and co-wrote a song, Everything Electric, which I like that song a lot. Ezra Koenig from Vampire Weekend is on here. Stephen Street plays bass on here too. There's a lot of guest stars. And I think, honestly, I like the first solo record, and the second one was a little dicey. And then I actually like this one a lot. So, if you like Oasis, you're into just kind of English rock, it's a good record. I like it. I'm glad I picked it up. Next one up is one of my favorites. This is 7 Psalms. This is a new 10-inch EP from Nick Cave, and it is 7 spoken word pieces set to music by Nick Cave and Warren Ellis, and it is kind of ambient. I didn't know I have, other than some soundtrack stuff, I have all the Nick Cave records going back, and I have some of the Nick Cave and Warren Ellis soundtrack stuff too. I didn't know how much I would need this, but I really wanted it, and I like Nick Cave's poetry and words anyway. But I will tell you that actually this is a pretty fantastic and cool little 10-inch. Like I said, it's just seven poems. How long have I waited? I've tripled my way deep. Such things should never happen. Inside B is the music, the instrumental music without the words over it. I like the crap out of this. It's just different, and it is interesting, and the poetry is great, and the music is cool, and I'm glad I picked it up. So this is Nick Cave, 7 Psalms, Nick Cave and Warren Ellis. So that's number 2. Number 3, my final Record Store Day 2022. Record Store Day happened in April this year, but they went ahead and put in a backup date because with the pressing plant difficulties, they knew not everything would make it out. So they put in a backup date in June for everything. And that date happened when I was in London. And there wasn't a ton on it I wanted. I got the Pearl Jam live on 2 legs, which was cool. and the UK, the Charged GBH, City Baby, Attacked by Rats, Billy Bragg, Life's a Riot with Spy vs. Spy, which had the live version of it in 2013 on the B-side. And then one of my favorites was the brand new Heavies album that just finally got a reissue that's needed one forever, Heavy Rhyme Experience Volume 1, which is fantastic. But I almost missed one, and this one, Sweet Relief, a tribute to, a benefit for Victoria Williams. This was supposed to come out last year and then just sort of vanished off of the release lists and wasn't really spoken about. And I knew a few copies did apparently escape in Europe, because there's some listed as being in people's possession there for a while, and then just wasn't really talked about. And then it didn't come out in the April one and was listed for June. So I was honestly a little worried that it wouldn't. And it was a little harder to grab than I thought. Very giant shout out to Lunchbox Records in North Carolina for having a copy of this still. So this came out in, I believe it was 1993. Yep, 1993. Looked at the back. And it is Soul Asylum, Pearl Jam, Buffalo Tom, Shudder to Think, Lou Reed, Maria McKee, Matthew Sweet, Evan Dando, the Jayhawks, the Waterboys, all these people doing tracks by Victoria Williams. And this was an incredible CD when it came out, and I'd always wanted a copy on vinyl, and it finally did. And this is a fantastic release. I will tell you, yes, it is a kind of an all-star list of 90s performers on here, but the actual selling point of this is her songs are so damn good that hearing these people do them, it's just great. It's an awesome record, and it's one you should definitely try to pick up if you see it. I know they're still floating around there. They're not super expensive on Discogs. They're pretty much regular price still, but I would grab this. This is definitely one that I think everybody should check out. So Sweet Relief, a benefit for Victoria Williams. All right. Fourth, new Guided by Voices, and I keep getting this wrong, Tremblers and Goggles by Rank. I love this one. This is sort of Guided by Voices arena rock record. I mean, it's just big. There's some giant riffs on here. It's really good. And I will tell you, this is I believe now, this is the 13th record from the newest incarnation of Guided by Voices, which has been around since, I believe, 2017 now. There was one where he just did it himself, Robert Pollard, and that was Please Be Honest. That was kind of the in-between record. And then like August by Cake, Zeppelin's Over China, that's kind of kicked off the new band. And the new band's run has been absolutely incredible. I would put it up there with classic, Tobit Sprout runs of the band. Obviously there's a certain, I don't think it's possible to really replicate. There's some, B1000 and Alien Lanes are kind of a separate thing. And even with the middle band with Mag Earwig, but I think there are some albums, Space Gun and this one in particular, and Space Gun, that I think out of this latest band have just been fantastic. And really that 13 album run, and I know it's a lot, Guided by Voices records come at you kind of hot and fast, but the new band has been fantastic, and this one is a great record. I've already listened to it a few times, and I really do love this one. So new Guided by Voices, Tremblers and Goggles by Rank. And the last one that came in, it came in Saturday, and I got the yellow slip in a box and couldn't go get it. So I just went by and grabbed it this morning, and that is we finally get a reissue of Cake, Fashion Nugget. This is a great record. I adore this record. It's fantastic, and it's fun. It's a fun record. I Will Survive, perhaps are the good covers, but Know the Distance is a big song off here, but I love Frank Sinatra, the opening track. That's my favorite one, and I really love that one. So Cake, Fashion Nugget, we finally got a reissue of that, and it's just a great record. It's fun. So I would pick this one up if you haven't yet. It's well worth it. Now I just hope we get the rest of the catalog reissued. That would be great. So if label wants to get started on that, we'd really appreciate it. This one is on RCA. Yeah, RCA Sony. So, yeah, Cake Fashion Nugget. And last but not least, a new book I got in. I've been reading quite a few things since I came back from London. I picked up quite a few books that I haven't, that are all filed and ready to go. Obviously, I read the Good Night and Good Riddance, the John Peel book, which was absolutely fantastic. And I loved it. I just finished Lonely Boy by Steve Jones, obviously with the Pistols doc. That was a good read, and it's a quick read. But this book, it is Exit Stage Left, The Curious Afterlife of Pop Stars by Nick Duerden. So I heard about this. We were listening to BBC 6 on Saturday, and we just kind of leave it on while we're cooking and doing some stuff, and it means I don't have to go mess with the record player. And he was on, and they were kind of going through some things, and people were calling in and talking about other pop stars that kind of retired. So this is kind of what happens when you're not famous anymore. Whenever the spotlight's over and you move on to other things. And obviously there's tales of drugs and divorce and bankruptcy and everything else, but there's people just moving on with their lives and doing new things and doing different stuff. So I have to look down from the glasses. So it has on here KLF, Happy Mondays, Robbie Williams, Charlatans, The Police, Natalie Merchant, Joan Armatrading, Suzanne Vega, Eurythmics, Franz Ferdinand, The Darkness, Frankie Goes to Hollywood, Corner Shop, Billy Bragg, Belly, Chumbawamba, Leo Sayer, Lloyd Cole, Stereo MCs, The Blow Monkeys, Sugar Cubes, Sig Sig Sputnik, Echo Belly, Boo Radleys, Joe Jackson, Delamitri, Musical Youth. Now, obviously, some of these people still go out and play and do shows. And, when he was on the radio, he was talking about Natalie Merchant, and she, 10,000 Maniacs got too big and she wanted to leave, went solo, and then that record was even huge, even bigger, and she became huge, and then got kind of tired of that and stepped away. And he talks about in the interview, he was saying, like she said, she is teaching in upstate New York and just does her own little life and is glad she's away from the spotlight. And he said it was funny because right after then she announced a tour and kind of went back out. So, part of this is the, in inevitable draw of the spotlight. It makes them all come back, or want to in some way. So this is a new book. This just showed up. I have not really fully dug into this yet, but it looks to be a pretty good one, and another one to add to the book collection too. So yeah, so that's it. Just a few things that I got in this week. A little chat about the reshelving behind me and a new book. And that's it. So if you're watching on YouTube, thank you. 200 plus subscribers. One of the videos is up to like 1,800 views, and that just blows my mind, and I appreciate it more than I could ever tell you. If you follow me on Instagram, and if you don't, I'm on Instagram at the home for Wayward Records, just underscores in between each word. And over there, I kind of have a question up now about things, questions you'd like to ask me, things you'd like to hear about. And Wednesday or Friday this week, I'll kind of go through those and do a little Q&A and talk about some stuff. And there's been some great questions so far, and I look forward to answering all those. So yeah, just, I guess, have a good week, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.